Welcome to Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the Butler University Bulldogs, home of one of the greatest mid-major men's Division I college basketball programs in history.
And Butler wins it. Butler's going on to the national championship game.
Since then, Butler in men's basketball has moved to the Big East. But a lot of people don't know, but Butler has a football team which has been at the FCS level since 1993, only grabbing one playoff bid in their existence in Division I. So this presents a new challenge, taking a basketball-rich program and moving the football program into major Division I football. And that is where we begin our journey. We joined the FBS with pretty much an empty roster, but the NCAA has allowed us to start recruiting in the offseason, concluding the 2024 season. Unfortunately, we weren't one of those powerhouse teams leaving the FCS level, and we're going to the FBS level, well, really behind in roster building. So we are really starting from ground zero. We're going to have one of the worst rosters in the NCAA. And to add to that, pretty much only one-star prospects are interested in coming to our program. We will be joining after a 3-9 season at the FCS level, but we do get to recruit. So we do get to look at some players coming into Division I football. But a lot of guys are from Indiana, and they are one-star guys. So we are going to be adding guys to the roster that don't really have a big, heavy recruiting, following for them. But this is what our first year's roster is going to be made of. And as we go through this dynasty, we will be able to add better prospects. But this is what we're working with to start it out. Let's just highlight our top 5 or 6 recruits on our board, starting with Ben Wolf. He is a one-star tight end out of Flowood, Mississippi. He's got good acceleration, 71 catching. As a one-star prospect, I don't really expect too much coming from a one-star tight end, but he is going to probably be a big part of our offense starting out this series. Peter Applewhite was one of the better cornerbacks I saw in one-star prospects. Now, his tackling is terrible at 47, but 86 speed, 71 zone coverage. Hopefully, he has good skill caps. Stephen Abreu, one-star tight end or one-star receiver out of Indianapolis, Indiana. He's got an 87 speed, only 84 acceleration. Hopefully, that can improve a little bit, but I do like him. He is an impact dev, along with Doug Hennessy, my favorite prospect here on the board, 5'10", out of Abbeville, South Carolina. 89 speed at running back. At least we have some speed there. And then George Kamalu is our best offensive lineman recruit in this first year's class. Now, he has decent pass blocking and should be probably an anchor on this offensive line. He is technically the number 1 ranked prospect that we did recruit here, and we had 30 total recruits, which landed us with the absolute last recruiting class. We joined the American Athletic Conference to start out this series, and we have company, starting with Yale getting the invite to the FBS level to start the 2025 season. They will be joining the American Athletic Conference. And then Harvard will also be joining the American Athletic Conference. And we will see 2 Ivy League schools in this series. The NCAA made it a point that they wanted to add some more competition to some lower level conferences that aren't necessarily P4. They're trying to build up the G4 conferences. So they decided to add Valparaiso, who is one of the rivals of Butler in this series. We have 2 of them. So the first is Valpo and the second is Xavier, who is joining the FBS level. Now, this is going to be interesting, having 2 rivals that join our same conference, and we will be creating a bigger American Athletic Conference, AAC, along with the powerhouse North Dakota State. So North Dakota State is coming in, and they probably should be at the FBS level anyway, and they will have their rival joining as well in South Dakota State University with the Jackrabbits. Both of those teams should be really, really good starting out, along with Villanova, who already should be at the FBS level probably because they are a really good FCS level team as well, along with North Dakota State. And we will see, out of all these new teams joining the FBS, who adjusts the quickest first, because that's going to be the biggest hurdle. Who's going to adjust to major Division I football and really hit the ground running? And I gotta say, we probably have the lowest odds. We are the lowest overall team of all of these schools joining. But let's just get into the roster. Let's start out at quarterback with Mitch Cromwell, who is our highest rated quarterback on the team at 55 overall. He does have some room to grow with his throw power, which is only at 80. His accuracy is not so good right now, but that doesn't mean that he can't get better. And that's one thing that I'm going to emphasize in this series, really developing. Now, Cromwell can run as well. He is a mobile quarterback, which is something I do admire. He is probably the most mobile out of all of our guys. Then we have 5'9" Anthony Pittman, who is backing him up. Now, he has kind of a lower ceiling as far as his throw power, but his accuracy can get much better. But being only 5'9", 80 speed, 87 acceleration, at least right now, early in his career, he's just going to be a mobile quarterback, and that's kind of what he's going to be good at. But maybe he can develop into something, but I'm probably going to be looking at recruiting quarterback pretty early on in this series. And then the third string quarterback is Judah Robbins, who is a pocket passer, and he can't move much at all in the pocket. So he's definitely going to have to wow us with his arm if he does end up touching the field. We already talked about our number one recruit that I like in this series so far, and it's Doug Hennessy. We recruited him in the offseason, entering here in season 1. His skill caps are actually pretty decent, so he can develop quite a bit. And one thing I do like about him right now is that he is 89 speed, and I think that that is a pretty good speed for a one-star prospect, especially at running back. Running backs usually come in pretty low in speed, and I think that Hennessy could be a playmaker for this offense. I'm going to try to get him involved in the screen game. Obviously, he's going to get some playing time with some handoffs. Behind him, we have Davis Lewiston and then Tonzel as well. Both of those guys are going to probably rotate in, but we have a really good fullback in senior Liam Daroon, who is going to be a really, really good short yardage back for us. He is a senior. We'll only have him for 1 year, but he is definitely going to be the guy I get the ball to in short yardage on the goal line, inside the 5. You know, when we need those 3rd and 1s, those 4th and inches, he's going to be in the game. At receiver, we already talked about Stephon Abreau. He comes in actually at 50 overall. I thought it was going to be a bit higher than 50, but he does have 90 change in direction. He's going to be pretty swift with his route running, and his skill caps actually aren't too bad for a one-star prospect. And I'm going to try to get him the ball as far as screens, RPOs. You're going to see a lot of quick game getting the ball to him, try to use his speed a little bit and his quickness. On the outside, we have 6'3" freshman Milo Brown, who isn't much better at 54 overall, but he is our highest rated receiver on the roster. His skill caps actually aren't bad too as a one-star. I was actually surprised that a lot of these guys coming in aren't like 4 or 5 as far as skill caps. They're actually pretty decent. Adrian King, he's 180 pounds. And he only has 86 speed, though. That definitely concerns me. We don't have a whole lot of speed at receiver, so I'm definitely going to be looking to add that in recruiting more than likely. We move over to tight end, and I think tight end is definitely a concern. Tariq Okiki is not much of a route runner or a pass catcher, but he is our highest overall tight end on the team. He right now is a junior, so we will have him for 2 years, and he's mostly there for run blocking purposes. So in past situations, Ben Wolf, the freshman, is going to get in. The issue is that Ben Wolf is already capped with his hands. He's got 1 skill cap available for route running, and he's going to develop as a blocker. So what you see right now is kind of what you're going to get as far as his catching and route running. He's going to improve a little bit, but his blocking is going to get better. So we definitely got to recruit at tight end. It's definitely a position of concern. And pretty much every position is a position of concern because, as you can see, our offensive line is kind of all over the place. We don't have any high overall linemen right now. The highest right now is Lenny Abramowski, who is 63 overall. He is by far our best lineman. He is a sophomore, and look at his skill caps too. They're actually really, really high, so he will improve. I'm guessing that, I've seen in the offseason in this game that guys improved to like 80 overall in one offseason. It could happen with him just because of his skill caps, and we'll see. But our offensive line is a big concern right away. I mean, he is the only one that is probably worth talking about, except for George Kamalu, who we saw, who was a top 6 recruit of ours and was our top overall recruit as far as rankings go that the game put on him. And it looks like he's going to have a lot of room to improve. Like, his skill caps aren't great, but right now he's only got 1 bar in every single one of those categories except for power. So that tells me he's going to improve quite a bit. Now let's talk defensively. And let's talk about a guy I really, really like on this defensive line. It's 64 overall, Bo Ray. I look at his skill caps, and I really think he's going to be a great player. Right now, he is, in the mid-60s overall, and I see a lot of potential with those skill caps right now. On the defensive line, I don't really know who to really point out besides him. We have some decent guys, as you just saw right there, that could develop, but these guys are 1-star players. Their skill caps aren't going to be very full right now. Mortimer Twiggs is a guy that I want to highlight here at middle linebacker. I don't really know who's going to be the playmaker of this defense, but I guess we'll have to see. His pass rushing skills can develop, and he's going to make plays, and I'm going to need a roaming linebacker who can go sideline to sideline, and that's kind of what he does right now. Jackson Dotz is an interesting player I want to highlight here. 57 overall, 78 speed. He could be a decent pass rusher, and I think that's one thing I do want to recruit is I want to get a bona fide pass rusher, but he does have a lot of potential here. Nothing really is too high at this point. His zone coverage is actually 77, which is pretty good right now, so I might be using him more in coverage right away. Peter Applewhite was our top cornerback recruit. Just looking at his skill caps, he has a lot of room to improve, but obviously he's not going to be an elite level corner. One thing that does concern me, 86 speed. So he's going to get a little bit faster, but if he plays a guy with great speed on the outside, he could get burnt. Hopefully that does not happen. On the other side of the football field, across from him is Moses Water. Now, he has one of the worst skill caps I've seen as far as cornerbacks, but he does have 89 speed, so a bit faster than what we saw from Applewhite. But I'll see how much he's going to end up being a liability just based on his zone coverage ratings. Sienna Freeman, another defensive back we have here. As you can see, his skill caps are a little bit higher. However, we'll see how he develops. He can be a lot faster, by the way, so I'm excited for him to develop. He can go all the way up until almost the max amount in speed and quickness, so that's going to be interesting to see. But on the back end of the defense are our 2 highest overall players on this defense, and that's Gage Van, who, look at his skill caps. He actually has 6 for zone coverage. I guess that's 5 technically. And then he has all the way up for run support except for 2 bars. So he's going to actually develop a little bit, but he is a junior, so I don't know how much those skill caps will really matter. I think development happens within the first couple of years, the first 2 and maybe 3 years if you're a red shirt. If you're a junior, you won't develop too much. And that kind of goes the same for Keith Sears, who is also a junior, but will be a leader on this defense, at least for the first 2 seasons. He's going to play in the box all over. He actually has a physical trait, which is a sure tackler, so we'll see if he ends up making plays and ends up being that big playmaker on this defense early on. We do have 2 special teamers. The roster kind of looks like this because we did simulate a season and then ended up getting rid of some of the other players that we had on the roster. We could not cut them for some reason. There's a glitch in the game. I don't know what it is. But here's the team schedule to start out season number 1. We play the Hawaii Tech Sharks to open up this series, and we will see that in today's episode. We will face at Indiana and at North Dakota State in the next 2 games. Those are going to be 2 tough games. Indiana is obviously our big brother in the state. North Dakota State is a powerhouse in the FCS level, joining the AAC. Then we go on the road to play Nebraska and Notre Dame. And the big reason why I did that is because in real life, a lot of smaller teams get paid a X amount of money to go play these other big schools as tune-up games. So we will get a little boost there, and we will talk about that when the time comes. And then we will end the season versus our rivals in the AAC play in Valparaiso and Xavier. And how I've kind of done this AAC conference, I've made 2 divisions, and then I will switch it up every single season so that we play different teams on the schedule every year. I don't want it to be the same teams we're playing every year. I want it to be different and keep this series fresh. We will be playing on Heisman difficulty. I will be playing with Mat 10 sliders. So this is kind of what we're going to be working with here in season 1, and I will kind of make tweaks as we go if I see a need for a change. One change I do make to these sliders is I do move injuries up to 60. I don't see enough of them for some reason, so I move that up to 60, and we'll see if that ends up playing into, this roster building. So we start game number 1, and we will be playing at our home field, Bud and Jackie Selleck Bowl, and that is the real home of the Butler Bulldogs in real life, so we will get to see that for the first time. We will be running the power spread offense, so I really want to take advantage of a mobile quarterback who can run the football, and that's kind of what the focus is going to be. I want to keep the ball on the ground. I do want to throw the ball as well. If we do throw the ball, it's going to be a lot of RPO, quick game. I do want to get, Abreau, who is going to be a key player in this offense. He's going to be kind of the focal point of a lot of those screens, a lot of those RPOs, and then obviously getting the ball to Doug Hennessy, who I'm really, really excited for in this offense. But as you can see, Cromwell can run the ball, and he is going to be a crucial part of this running game. And if he can't get it done, we obviously have some other quarterbacks like Anthony Pittman who could take over this offense because of their running skills. So here we go, playing the Hawaii Tech Sharks here to open this series. We will receive the opening kickoff. Let's get this series underway. As back to receive this kick is number 13, Sienna Freeman, the slot cornerback, and he takes it back to about the 13-yard line on a pretty bad return that time. And out comes Mitchell Cromwell at quarterback, 5'11", but we'll see if he can get it done today to open the series versus an FCS school, as the first play of the game goes to Doug Hennessy, goes for a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 now. Here is Cromwell throwing across the middle, and there is the freshman Stephon Abreau, who gets his first catch of the series. I wanted to get him the ball early just to get him that confidence, and I'm excited for him. He is impact dev as well, so he will develop pretty well for us. This is a option play. This is a pitch, a late pitch this time to Hennessy, and he ends up getting back to the line of scrimmage, but that was a weird play. He ends up stopping when he caught the ball. 2nd and 8. Here's a throw once again to Abreau, and he's got the first down, fighting for the yardage. And Cromwell is already kind of shaken up. That wear and tear already affecting him after a couple of hits. Play action fake now. Cromwell throws deep to left side. He's got a man, and this one's caught. It's a touchdown. Adrian King, the freshman receiver. Technically the 3rd highest overall receiver in this core, and that's just a wheel route, and he just outruns the safety who's got him in coverage, and a great throw by Cromwell over the top, and he makes it 7-0. What a start to this series. So here is Hawaii Tech out onto the field for the first down. Austin Chaney is their quarterback, and he gives it off to Tavion Yearwood for a gain of about 5. Now on second down, they're going to call encroachment on the defense. So getting a little happy on that one is Bo Ray, who I talked about, who is one of my favorite defensive linemen so far on this roster. Here's a quick throw across the middle. That one is caught by Eli Lancaster, and he picks up the first down. One big concern coming into this series is really being able to stop the run. Our defensive line is not rated well. Here's a screen pass, though, and we do get to the running back that time. That's number 95, Keith Tillis, on the tackle in the backfield. They're going to call holding. We're going to decline that, bringing it to a 3rd and 17. They call another screen pass out to the left side. This is going to be a big gain, but a big stop that time by the junior safety, Keith Sears. So here we go back on offense. Here's more triple option this time, pitching it out to Doug Hennessy, and Hennessy picks up the first down run on that one. Good pitch by Cromwell, but he does take another hit. That wear and tear, as you can see, 2 bars that are kind of orange color right under his kind of indicator there. Here is Hennessy, a handoff up the middle. That one only goes for a gain of 1. But now 2nd and 9. Here is Cromwell. Throw into left side. He's got a man, and he can't lead Abreu. Abreu might have scored on that one. There was nobody in front of him. A good defensive play, though, by Hawaii Tech. 3rd and 9. Getting hit on the throw and finding his man, Milo Brown, across the middle. Cromwell took a hit and was still able to throw that semi-accurately. That's a great play by him. RPO action now, over to left side. It's Milo Brown who breaks a tackle, and he does pick up the first down. Milo Brown is 6'3". He is the tallest receiver in this room, and he's going to be a jump ball situation type of player. But here is Cromwell getting swallowed up in the pocket that time. His risk of injury is high. We got to watch that. 2nd and 13, back to Hennessy. Hennessy finds the space and cuts upfield, and he gets to about the 19-yard line. 3rd and 1, right back to Hennessy, breaking a tackle, throwing a man off. And Doug Hennessy has been very, very impressive so far early in this game, running the football. The first quarter does wind down here. Here's a play-action fake throw into the end zone. It's intercepted. Cromwell threw a bit behind Ben Wolf. The wear and tear may have affected that throw because he just did not have enough on it. Ben Wolf was coming open, but look at the defensive back. He just adjusts to the ball in the air, comes back to it, and makes a great interception. So here is Hawaii Tech. Austin Chaney now in the shotgun. Throw to the right side. This one is caught, and that's Ben McGowan who has the first down. He eventually gets tackled by number 15 from behind, Joshua McKenzie, the freshman safety. Handoff this time. It's a stop in the backfield by number 10, Gage Van, who gets there, and that's a great tackle. Now, George Sears does have that sure tackler ability, but Gage Van does make a nice tackle right there. And now we get him to a 3rd and 2 as Keith Tillis is shaken up on that play. Now they run a running back in motion, handing it off this time, and it's a tackle by Sears, but it looks like they got the first down on that carry. So here we go. They're across about the 47-yard line. There's a 3rd and 2 carry and another first down, and that is going to be Sears again for the tackle. Now we're midway through the second quarter. As you can see, my concern, like I said, for this team was really that defensive line stopping the run, especially versus good teams. I want to get some good practice here versus a lower competition team. See what our team can do well as they get it to a 3rd and 9. Here is pressure, and they throw the ball out of bounds. And that's a long field goal, but they bring in their kicker for a 57-yarder, and this one is going to be wide to the left. He may have had enough on that kick, but it just ends up wide to the left. That may have been a 55-yarder, by the way. Now here we go back on offense. It's a 2nd and 9. Screen pass out to Hennessy, and you can see kind of the focal point. Getting him the football is going to be key this year. Hopefully he stays healthy because I really like what I see from Hennessy. They send pressure. Here's a throw to the middle of the field. That's Ben Wolf, the freshman tight end, the one-star prospect. I talked about him. He may not have a very high ceiling, but I like what I see. There's another throw to Milo Brown, who has been impressive today. Milo Brown, Stephon Abreau, they're all freshmen in this receiving room. Here's a throw to the right side. That's a drop. Tariq Okiki will drop that one. And he is a junior, a leader in this kind of receiving room at tight end. But here is Cromwell taking off, and he has the first down. You can see the mobility. He's been showing it off today. So now just outside the red zone, another screen pass out to Hennessy. Hennessy's got space to the 10, making a move inside the 7-yard line, and it's goal to go at the 6. Hennessy has had a lot of touches so far in the first half. Here is Cromwell stepping up. He takes off and scores, but there's a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to be holding on the true freshman Tyree Gator, who's playing left guard for us. And we come all the way back to the 15-yard line for a 3rd and goal. Here is Cromwell rolling to the right side, throwing that way, and that is caught. But it will end up putting us into a field goal position. And we do bring in the kicker, that is Johnny Dempsey, who is also a freshman. He knocks that one through. A lot of freshmen on this team. Under 2 minutes to go here for Hawaii Tech, down by 10. This is a tip pass. Intercepted! That's going to be picked off by Mario Crawford, the freshman defensive end. But take a look. How did this play even happen? They line up for the screen pass, and it looked like the running back just got jammed up, and it bounces around off an offensive lineman, and we end up picking it off. So now we have a minute to go to score a touchdown here before halftime. Cromwell running a man in motion. He throws short. It's going to be caught. It's Milo Brown for the touchdown. What a start to this series. Milo Brown, the freshman receiver, will score. And he makes it 17-0 off of the Mario Crawford interception. And now Hawaii Tech down by 3 scores, trying to get something on the board here. Here's a throw, a dangerous one. I have no idea why the quarterback threw that. That receiver is blanket coverage as well. Now play action fake by Chaney. No, he's going to hand it off this time. Fool their whole defense. Tavion Yearwood picks up the first down. Hawaii Tech does call the timeout here at the 41. We send pressure. Here's a throw to left side. That one is caught. And that's Anderson Landrum who gets out of bounds and stops the clock here for Hawaii Tech. 18 seconds to go in the pocket. Here's a deep shot. Chaney looking for his man, and that one is caught. It's Applewhite getting burnt pretty badly. It's a touchdown by Anderson Landrum. I talked about it during the roster intros. The one thing I do not like about Peter Applewhite right now is his 86 speed, especially as an outside cornerback. This could happen with quite frequency. We might think about moving him inside as a slot cornerback just to mitigate that if it keeps happening. But you can see that is the big issue with him. But he does give up the big touchdown, but nonetheless, up 17-7 in the first half. This is going to be a fun series. As you can see, we're playing an FCS school. It's going to be a challenge this entire season, but I want to have some fun here versus an FCS opponent. So second half now here for Hawaii Tech. A handoff, and there is a nice tackle. And there he is, Jackson Dotz, who makes the tackle in the backfield. 3rd and 12. We send pressure, and we get home. It's number 21, Keith Sears, who makes the tackle. And he does get our first sack of this series. They punt the ball away here, and here is Sienna Freeman back to receive the punt. He makes a move and gets us into great field position to the 43. So here we go, another read option this time. Cromwell keeps it and has a lot of room, and he gets to about the 30, but another holding call. These penalties are going to kill us, and that's one thing that I want to get. I want to get some disciplined offensive linemen in here that aren't always holding. This is an FCS opponent. We shouldn't need to hold on these plays. Here is Cromwell, though, taking off up the middle and showing off his footwork. He gets a gain of 20 on a 3rd and 15. Cromwell has been impressive so far today. He hasn't really given any other quarterback playing time, and he does go down with a big sack. And now we're all the way back to 37 now for a 3rd and 18. Last time we picked this up on a scramble, but here is Cromwell facing pressure, and he was looking deep for Stephon Abreau, the freshman, and he ends up throwing it into the ground. So now here is Chaney running the read option. This time he gets tackled from behind by Mortimer Twiggs, but it's going to be just short of the first down marker. 2nd and inches, a handoff this time, and that's number 22. That's Tavion Yearwood. We have an injury on the play as they get it to about the 45-yard line. Here's a play-action fake throw into the right side and a big hit. And that's number 99, Bo Ray with the tackle that time, bringing it to a 3rd and 5. Another play-action. Here's a throw, and that one is thrown to nobody, out of bounds. And now we get the offense back out onto the field as we near the end of the 3rd quarter. Handoff this time to Doug Hennessy does not work. Hawaii Tech knew that was coming. 3rd and 11, they send another pressure, and there is a catch by Adrian King. King is off to the races. He gets to about the 46-yard line on the opposite side of the 50. They sent the pressure. They tried to do it 2 plays in a row, and that time we caught it. Cromwell now facing pressure, gets hit hard. He's been getting hit all day long by this Hawaii Tech defense. And now we enter the 4th quarter. Here is Cromwell throwing to the right side. This one's caught. It's Adrian King with, I believe, his 4th catch of the evening. That might put him over 100 yards, by the way. It's now 4th and 8. We actually decide to go for this. Here's a throw to the right side, and it's knocked down. I have no idea why we went for that. I think we were just trying to get into the flow of having to go for a 4th down, knowing what plays to go to, just to get some practice in. But now we're up by 10 still. Here's a throw to the right side, and a bad miss that time by Hawaii Tech. A wide open Ben McGowan, 3rd and 7. Here's a throw to left side, out of bounds. So, I mean, we are getting lucky because a lot of these situations, good teams would be converting these, but they decide to go for it on the 4th and 7 here. Here's a throw to left side. That's caught by DeJuan Williams, but it's short of the 1st down marker. He steps out of bounds. So now here we are at the 35-yard line. Here is Cromwell running the option. He pitches it, and it's going to be caught by the defense going the other way. The big fella, number 97, all the way for the touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Running the option in this game is a little bit tricky at times. Sometimes the pitch comes in right, and sometimes you just make a mistake, and that was just a mistake. Doug Hennessy was not open on that pitch, and we give up a defensive touchdown, and now it's just a 3-point game here for Butler. Here is Hennessy now, throwing a stiff arm, breaking free, down the sideline to about the 35-yard line, and the biggest run of the game here for Butler, and we're across the 50. It's the freshman Doug Hennessy. If you're not excited about him after that run, man, he is going to be exciting in this series. I can't wait to build around him. He is an exciting player so far through this first game. At the 30-yard line this time, running Abreu in motion. Here is Cromwell in the pocket. Doesn't have anybody to throw it to. He may have had a man wide open, but got happy feet in the pocket with the pressure collapsing. And now it's 3rd and 12. Here's a throw downfield. This one's caught. It's Milo Brown again. His 6th catch, and I think Milo Brown might be an awesome target, especially for moving the sticks. Can't wait to use all of these guys in this offense, find out what their strengths and weaknesses are. They look fun so far. Here's another short throw to Brown, his 7th catch of the game, and he's going to be a yard short of the 1st down sticks. And now Doug Hennessy will not be returning to this game with a bruised sternum, And we bring in Liam Daroon here for the short yardage situation. A handoff, and he is stopped short. We actually went with the hard count on this play, and a guy on their squad jumped across the line, but no flag on the play. So 2 minutes to go here for Hawaii Tech. They could go down the field and end up winning this game here at this point. They get it to a 3rd and 2 now. A quick throw. That one is caught. Anderson Landrum for the first down. Another 3rd down situation here for Hawaii Tech's offense. They have all day to throw. No pressure here. Here's a throw to the right side. This one's caught. And Applewhite does make the tackle, but they do pick up the first. Another 3rd down. Once again, stepping up in the pocket is Cheney. Cheney takes off. He eventually gets hit by number 28. That is Ken Camiano. And now it is 4th and 4. Can we win this game right here? Pressure, a deep shot, looking for a receiver. It's knocked down. That is Gage Van, one of the veterans on this defensive back group. And he makes the play. And we hold on late for a 3-point victory. If we're only beating Hawaii Tech by 3 points, we might have a big, big rebuild here. Adrian King, 4 for 101, though. He had a game. And I was just really, really excited to get a new series here and build this team from the ground up. That was one of my wishes I had for this series, really starting from ground zero. And if you're new kind of to my channel, I love these long-term rebuilds where I do, maybe a game an episode, maybe a doubleheader every episode, and I like to, build this team up. But I was very, very encouraged by this first game. Doug Hennessy was impressive, obviously had that 40-yard run. Milo Brown was good. I liked him. He definitely surprised me. I didn't think he was going to have that big a game. I thought it was going to be Stephon Abreau who was going to be the focal point of this offense, but Milo Brown definitely surprised me at receiver. Our defense was okay. I think that we did not get enough pressure today, and I was surprised because obviously it's an FCS offensive line. I thought we were going to do much better. But that's what building this team is going to be about. Learning the roster, learning what we do well, knowing when to send blitzes, all that type of stuff I'm excited for. And if you notice, this entire roster was a lot of subscribers. It's fully a subscriber team. So all of these guys, except for the guys we highlighted there with our top 5 or 6 in recruiting, are generated by the game. But I'm very, very excited for this series. Let me know if you guys are down below. And we'll be back for more Butler football. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.